Have you ever felt like someone in your life is quietly draining your energy, but you just can't put your finger on it? What if the people you trust the most are actually the ones taking advantage of your kindness? And here's the real question: are your relationships helping you grow, or slowly pulling you away from who you truly are? Have you ever wondered if the people around you are truly there for you, or just keeping you close because they benefit from your kindness? It's a lot like standing at a quiet crossroads, unsure which path will lead to real connection, and which one leads to manipulation. But if you've felt this confusion, you're not alone. Every one of us, at some point, faces this silent challenge, navigating through the maze of human relationships, trying to tell the sincere from the self-serving. Marcus Aurelius once emphasized the importance of knowing the nature of those we associate with. And in this video, we'll explore exactly that. You're about to discover 16 subtle, yet powerful, signs that someone may be using you. These aren't random observations. They are carefully considered insights drawn from understanding human behavior, emotions, and psychology. From identifying one-sided conversations to realizing when your generosity is being taken for granted, each sign will help you peel back the surface and see things as they really are. And why does this matter? Because you deserve more. You deserve relationships that uplift, not drain you. Relationships that bring out your best, not break you down. This video isn't just about spotting users. It's about empowering you to attract and build healthy, fulfilling connections, rooted in mutual respect and authenticity. Let's begin with the first subtle sign: diminishing comments. As we move through life, diminishing comments are like small rocks hiding in a clear stream. They might seem insignificant, but they can cause you to stumble again and again. Picture this: you excitedly share a personal victory only to hear, "That's all?" Or maybe you open up about a dream and someone responds with mockery or sarcasm. These aren't harmless remarks. They are calculated jabs, meant to shrink you, to sow doubt, to make you feel small. Why? So the other person can feel bigger in comparison. From a Stoic perspective, this is a powerful moment to practice awareness and resilience. Stoicism doesn't ask you to suppress emotions, but to master them. When faced with such remarks, shift your focus inward. Ask yourself, can I control their words? No. But I can control my reaction. This is your strength. Often, these comments reveal far more about the speaker than about you. Their words echo their insecurity. It's their way of saying, I feel threatened by your light. You have a choice: absorb the negativity or recognize it for what it is. Respond with calm confidence. A true Stoic doesn't get dragged into petty word wars. They stand tall, grounded in their own worth. Surround yourself with people who genuinely support and celebrate you. Life is far too meaningful to be dimmed by someone else's need to compete or control. Your self-esteem is not a weapon for others to disarm. It is your shield, your quiet strength, your unshakable core. Now on to the next revealing sign: broken promises. Have you ever noticed someone in your life who speaks beautifully yet rarely follows through? They're like skilled illusionists, weaving promises out of thin air. At first, their words dazzle you, but when it's time to act, they vanish, leaving nothing behind but disappointment. This is the illusion of investment, where words are used like glitter, covering up a lack of true effort or commitment. In these moments, don't just listen to what's said, watch what's done. Because actions, unlike words, don't lie. If someone's promises come freely but are rarely fulfilled, pay attention. That's not forgetfulness. That's a pattern. Now let's take a closer look at what that pattern really means in the next section. So we just talked about broken promises. those empty words that never seem to turn into action. But what happens when, in the moments that truly matter, the person who once spoke with conviction simply disappears? If this sounds familiar, then it's time to question their sincerity. It's like trying to build a house with someone who brings beautifully detailed blueprints, but never shows up at the construction site. No matter how stunning the plan, a foundation made of words alone will never hold up. It will crumble. And no, this isn't about becoming bitter or cynical. It's about being wise, being discerning. Trust is not built on charm. Relationships are not sustained by pretty words. They thrive in the space where words and actions align, where intention is matched with follow-through. When someone consistently says one thing but does another, that's not just forgetfulness. It's a signal, a red flag, a sign that they may care more about appearing supportive than actually being there when it counts. Recognizing this truth puts the power back in your hands. It allows you to make thoughtful, informed decisions about who deserves a seat at your table and who doesn't, because your time, energy, and emotional investment are sacred. Don't waste them on those who only say they care. Reserve them for the ones who show it with sincerity and integrity. Unilateral benefit navigating relationships can sometimes feel like walking a tightrope, especially when you're the only one carrying the weight. This is the trap of unilateral benefit, where the effort flows in only one direction. It's like rowing a boat while someone else sits comfortably, enjoying the ride, offering nothing in return. Imagine always being the giver of your time, your support, your resources, only to receive silence when you're the one in need. That's not generosity. That's a signal. A loud, clear sign that you're being undervalued. True Stoic wisdom teaches us about balance, about mutual respect. A healthy connection is one where both people contribute, not just emotionally, but practically. So how do you respond? Start by honoring yourself. Recognize the pattern. Set boundaries, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Speak with honesty. See who adjusts. The ones who care will make the effort. The ones who don't will make space for someone who will. Because at the end of the day, relationships are not about quantity. They're about quality. You are not a resource. You are not a lifeline. You are a human being, deserving of a relationship that gives as much as it takes. Don't settle for a one-person performance. You deserve a team, a support system, a circle that lifts you up. Because how can you grow if you're always the one watering others while your roots run dry? Disregard for your emotions or needs. Sometimes, the most painful behaviors are the ones that creep in slowly. You may not even notice it at first, but over time the pattern becomes clear. Someone repeatedly dismisses your emotions, your needs, your voice. It's like carrying a hidden weight that gets heavier by the day. Every time you speak, your words vanish like smoke. Every time you're hurting, they walk by like you're invisible, just another object in the room. This isn't accidental. It's not just carelessness. It's a subtle, silent form of manipulation, a strategy to keep you feeling small, dependent, quiet, and it's completely against the Stoic principle of mutual respect. In this dynamic, they become the artists, painting your emotional world in shades of neglect and indifference. Meanwhile, your own palette of needs remains untouched, unnoticed. This is a blazing red flag waving in the wind of your relationship. So what can you do? Start by listening to the quiet voice inside you, the one whispering, "This isn't right." Trust that voice. You are not a background character in someone else's story. You are the main character in your own. When your emotions are constantly brushed aside, speak up, not to start conflict, but to protect your dignity. And if they still don't hear you, it may be time to reevaluate. You deserve to be surrounded by people who see you, hear you, value you. Relationships should be two-way streets, not narrow alleys leading only to their happiness. Stoicism reminds us that self-respect is not optional. It's essential. Respecting yourself is how you teach others to treat you. And sometimes, the strongest move you can make is to walk away. Emotional manipulation. Let's now take a closer look at a more calculated form of harm, one that Marcus Aurelius warned us about long ago. Previously, we looked at how emotional neglect can silently chip away at your sense of self. But there's another layer, one even more deceptive: emotional manipulation. In situations like these, the most powerful thing you can do is reclaim your inner strength. And that begins with awareness. This profound realization becomes your armor. In a battlefield that isn't fought with fists, but with subtle jabs to your confidence. Imagine navigating a relationship, a friendship, a family bond, maybe even a professional connection, where your confidence doesn't fade because you've changed, but because someone is quietly engineering your doubt. The manipulator often wears the mask of a friend. They come wrapped in charm and understanding. But behind the smile is a quiet mission: to make you depend on their approval. They mix praise with criticism, kindness with control, and slowly you begin to rely on their opinion more than your own judgment. This isn't just a betrayal of trust. It's an insidious attack on your autonomy, your ability to think and feel freely. From a Stoic point of view, this is the moment to ground yourself in two essential virtues: self-awareness and sovereignty. Pay attention to your instincts. If you leave conversations feeling smaller, drained, or confused, take it seriously. That feeling? It's your mind waving a red flag. Boundaries aren't just polite requests. They're the walls of your mental fortress. Use them. Speak up for your values. Call out inconsistencies with calm courage. And most importantly, invest your energy in people who respect your growth, not sabotage it. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, your inner world is yours to govern. Protecting that space isn't selfish. It's Stoic strength in action. Emotional manipulation thrives in silence. But when you guard your peace with wisdom and clarity, you send a powerful message. My mind is mine, and I will not let you shape it. Lack of genuine support now. Let's look at another red flag. One that might not shout for attention, but quietly wears you down. At the heart of any meaningful relationship lies the solid foundation of genuine support. It's like having someone on the sidelines, your personal cheerleader, through every rise and fall. But what happens when that support is missing? It feels like walking a tightrope without a safety net. You reach out, hoping for a kind word, a listening ear, or a steady hand, only to be met with silence or worse, indifference. This absence isn't just disappointing, it's revealing. It suggests that you may be with someone who doesn't see you as a partner in growth, but as a stepping stone to their own goals. True support doesn't mean blind agreement. It doesn't mean someone always says yes to you. It means they value your dreams enough to stand beside you, to challenge you when needed, to celebrate your wins and sit with you through your losses. When someone's presence feels conditional, when they nod at your stories but their heart is clearly elsewhere, that's not support. That's performance. They're like shadows that show up when the sun is out, but disappear the moment clouds roll in. Relationships like these can leave you feeling lonelier than being alone. So take note of the patterns. If your joys are met with apathy, if your struggles echo in silence, it's time to reassess the depth of that connection. Because to thrive, you need more than warm bodies. You need warm hearts. Seek out people who invest in your well-being, not just in words, but in action. People who want to see you grow and grow with you. In a world full of surface-level connections, relationships rooted in genuine interest and mutual respect are rare, but priceless. These are the bonds that strengthen you. that challenge you, that stand the test of time. Constant competition. And now, let's turn to a more subtle yet toxic dynamic: constant competition. In the last section, we uncovered how constant competition can quietly poison a relationship, turning trust into a scoreboard. And that leads us to an equally corrosive pattern, when even your closest bonds come with strings attached. Some people treat relationships like transactions. Every favor, every act of kindness, tallied like entries in a ledger. It's not friendship, it's bookkeeping. In this silent system, your worth becomes tied to how much you can offer, rather than who you are. But here's the key to breaking free: awareness and boundaries. Remind yourself, your value is not a number in someone else's mental ledger. You don't exist to be measured, weighed, or leveraged. Instead, build relationships rooted in mutual respect, support that flows both ways, connections that breathe freely, without pressure, without expectation. As Stoic wisdom teaches us, cherish relationships not for their utility, but for their sincerity. When you let go of the need to owe or be owed, you open the door to something more authentic. A kind of bond that enriches not just your life, but theirs too. No hidden scores, no silent contracts, just trust and truth. And if you've made it this far into the video, take a moment to appreciate that, because your commitment to personal growth is a rare and powerful thing. If you'd like to share your journey, drop a comment below with "I attract genuine connections in my life," or use your own words. Your voice matters. And if this message resonates with you, subscribing is one of the best ways to stay connected. Now let's continue the journey with sign number 8. Absence in critical moments, fair weather friends. They're like shadows, always present. When the sun is shining, but gone the moment it rains. You've seen it. Laughter, attention, warmth. When everything is going well, but the second life gets hard, they vanish without a trace. These are people who treat relationships like conveniences. They're there when it's easy, when it benefits them. But when your world shakes, when you truly need someone, they're nowhere to be found. It's like watching an actor step off stage the moment the script no longer serves their spotlight. Their absence isn't just disappointing, it's revealing. It speaks volumes about their intentions, louder than any apology ever could. Stoicism teaches us to see people for who they truly are, not who we wish they were. So when someone disappears during your lowest moments, don't cling to the illusion. Don't justify. Don't chase. Instead, choose clarity over confusion. Choose self-respect over silent pain. True relationships are not tested in celebration. They're tested in crisis. When someone fails that test over and over again, it's time to reconsider their role in your life. Your value doesn't shrink because someone failed to show up. Their absence says nothing about your worth, but everything about theirs. So refocus your energy. Surround yourself with those who stand beside you, not just in sunshine, but also through storms. Lack of reciprocity. Now picture this. You're always the one initiating, the one texting first. The one who remembers birthdays, plans hangouts, listens to their problems, offers support. You even shared your Netflix password. Meanwhile, they rarely offer the same in return. This is not just forgetfulness. This is a pattern, a lack of reciprocity, and it's a flashing red flag waving in the breeze of your daily interactions. Stoicism reminds us, balance and mutual respect are essential to a healthy connection. If you're constantly giving, while the other person simply takes, it's time to stop and reflect. Ask yourself, is this a relationship, or is this a one-way street? To fix the imbalance, start inward. Stoicism doesn't ask you to control others. It asks you to master yourself. Are you enabling this dynamic by staying silent? Are your needs being clearly expressed? This isn't about keeping score. It's about creating a space where both people are seen, heard, and valued. So speak up. Express what you need. Give them the opportunity to meet you halfway. And if they don't, if the effort is always yours alone, consider whether this relationship deserves your continued investment. As a Stoic sage of the modern age, remember, your peace is not up for negotiation. Your well-being isn't a reward, it's a right. Every healthy relationship requires two people, not one giving and the other just receiving. 10. Betrayal. Next, we enter darker waters, the pain of betrayal. And like an unseen storm, it often brews beneath the surface. Previously, we explored the imbalance of giving without receiving and how your energy can be depleted in a relationship built on one-sided effort. Now, let's turn to something even more damaging: betrayal. It's subtle at first, like cracks forming beneath the surface of what once felt solid. Trust begins to erode, slowly, quietly, until one day the foundation gives way entirely. This kind of betrayal doesn't come with loud arguments or obvious betrayals. Instead, it creeps in, draining the life out of trust, one silent fracture at a time. You might wonder, how can I see it coming? The answer lies in awareness. It is your first and strongest line of defense. Pay attention to the rhythm of your relationships. Is there a pattern where you're constantly the one giving, emotionally, mentally, or practically, while the other person only ever takes? If so, you may be caught in a game of emotional tug-of-war, where no matter how hard you pull, you're always left exhausted and empty. But identifying the issue is only half the battle. Now let's talk solutions. Stoicism teaches us a powerful truth. You cannot always control what happens, but you can always control how you perceive it and how you respond. So if betrayal is surfacing in your relationships, meet it with clarity and calm. Don't lash out. Don't collapse inward. Instead, approach it like a seasoned Stoic. Have the hard conversation. Lay things out honestly. Set clear, firm boundaries. This isn't about blame. It's about truth. It's about understanding the dynamics and choosing your path forward. Do you try to repair what's been cracked, or do you start anew? That decision is yours alone, but make it wisely and make it with self-respect, because your emotional well-being is not optional. It's essential, and you have the strength to walk the road that honors your values. Selective availability. Next comes a subtle, manipulative tool often hidden behind a mask of busyness. Selective availability. Picture this. You're always there for them, like a lighthouse on the shore, reliable, unwavering, dependable. But when the roles are reversed, when you need them, suddenly they vanish like a flicker in the night. Their availability becomes rare, unpredictable, always on their terms. And make no mistake, it's not about busy schedules. It's a tactic. They keep you at arm's length, controlling when and how the relationship flows. You're stuck dancing to a rhythm they alone decide. Your texts go unanswered. Your calls fade into silence. And when they do reach out, it's often for one reason: to benefit themselves. This kind of interaction chips away at your self-worth. You start to question your value. You wonder if your efforts mean anything at all. Here's where Stoicism becomes your compass. It teaches us to see through illusions, to strip away emotional fog, to view things as they are, not as we wish they were. So remind yourself, your worth is not dependent on someone else's response. You are not a convenience. You are a person. Practice Stoic self-reflection. Don't let bitterness harden you, but let clarity guide you. This isn't about building walls, it's about setting healthy boundaries. It's about remembering that mutual respect and effort are the true cornerstones of any meaningful connection. And most importantly, you are the sculptor of your self-worth, not just a character in someone else's story. Making you feel guilty now. Let's talk about a manipulator's most effective weapon: guilt. Guilt is their favorite tool. It's quiet, it's sneaky, and it works on people with kind hearts. You'll hear lines like, "After all I've done for you," or "I thought you cared about me." Each statement is designed to twist your generosity into obligation, to make every favor feel like a debt, one you never asked for. It's emotional blackmail. They know you don't want to hurt others. They know you're thoughtful, considerate, empathetic, and they use that against you. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone your time, your energy, or your peace just because they expect it. It's not selfish to put yourself first. It's necessary. This is where the Stoic principle of self-governance becomes vital. The art of saying no is not cold, it's wise. When someone uses guilt to control you, what they're really doing is trying to steer your emotions. They want to drive your decisions. Don't let them. Step back. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to, or because I feel I have to? A Stoic acts out of reason, not pressure. Integrity, not guilt. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Listen to that feeling. Respect it. Trust your gut. You have the right to make decisions that honor your values. You have the power to choose. And as we move forward, let's look at another subtle but toxic sign that someone might be using you. Previously, we uncovered how guilt can be used as a weapon, turning your kindness into obligation. But sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply say no, not out of anger, not out of spite, but from a deep understanding that your life is meant to reflect your values, not someone else's expectations. Lack of personal interest now. Let's talk about another subtle but unmistakable sign you're being used. The complete absence of personal interest. Ever feel like you're having a conversation that resembles playing tennis against a wall? You send out thought after thought, serve after serve, hoping for a return. But all you get back is silence. Or worse, disinterest. Your words hit the surface and disappear. Your feelings pour out, only to vanish into a bottomless pit. That isn't just disappointing, it's draining. Because real conversation, it's a dance, a give and take, a moment where two people meet, not just speak, but when you're constantly being sidelined, when your voice becomes background noise to someone else's monologue. It's more than bad communication. It's a sign you're not seen, not valued, not truly included. Stoicism teaches us that mutual respect and empathy are the lifeblood of healthy relationships. So if you're consistently ignored, it's time to take a hard look at the relationship's value. Your voice deserves more than just airspace. It deserves attention. It deserves acknowledgement. The solution isn't shouting louder, it's redirecting your energy, choosing more wisely where and with whom you invest your emotional presence. Ask yourself, are my words landing or are they just floating? Because when someone genuinely cares, they don't just hear you, they echo you, they reflect, they respond. Your story is not a footnote in someone else's life. It's the headline in your own. So find the people who treat it that way. Unilateral conversations. Let's take this a step further. Have you ever found yourself stuck in a conversation where you feel more like a listener than a participant? You nod. You respond. You provide the classic, mm-hmm. And yet, the moment you start to speak, something shifts. They fidget. They glance away. Or worse, they interrupt, steering the conversation right back to themselves. It's like playing tennis with someone who refuses to return the serve. They hog the court, and you're just there to keep the ball in play. That's not a conversation. That's a performance, with you cast as the silent audience. This is what we call unilateral dialogue, a one-way street that drains your energy while feeding their ego. And Stoicism has a message for moments like these. You are not just a sounding board. You are a soul with your own thoughts, your own stories, your own voice. So what do? Start by gently steering the conversation back to balance. Test the waters. Do they listen or dodge? Because someone who values dialogue won't. Just wait for their turn to speak. They'll listen, really listen. If they can't do that, it's a sign. You deserve more than a role in someone else's monologue. You deserve to be part of a dialogue that flows both ways, where your words matter, your presence is felt, and your voice isn't an echo, but a melody. Superficial closeness. Finally, let's talk about a trap that's especially common in today's hyper-connected world. Superficial closeness. It's that illusion of intimacy. On the surface, everything looks real. They send messages. They make plans. They say all the right things. But when you look deeper, there's nothing there. It's like a mirage, beautiful from afar, but hollow when you reach it. This is the kind of relationship where promises are plentiful, but flimsy. Plans are made, but frequently broken. And connection? It's conditional, fleeting, strategic. They stay just close enough to benefit from your presence, but never close enough to truly show up for you. In the previous section, we explored the illusion of closeness, how some people stay just near enough to benefit from you, but never close enough to truly support you. This type of interaction often reveals something deeper, a relationship rooted in convenience, not connection. When someone consistently gains from your presence without offering genuine investment in return, it's no longer a mutual bond. It's a transactional dynamic. You may start to feel less like a person and more like a utility, something they turn to only when it's useful, not because they genuinely value you. Recognizing this pattern isn't just a passing thought. It's a moment of clarity, a turning point, a signal urging you to pause and reassess the emotional landscape of your relationships. Ask yourself, does the balance of emotional effort tilt dramatically in their favor? Do you often carry the weight of the relationship while they coast along? These aren't questions to shame or blame. They're opportunities to realign, because these signs don't reflect your lack of worth. They reflect a lack of reciprocity, and that's your cue not to tolerate it, but to pivot, to shift toward relationships that are built on genuine respect, shared growth, and emotional equality. Stoicism reminds us that authenticity is key, that living in accordance with your values means honoring the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. So be brave enough to walk away from those who reduce relationships to convenience, and seek those rare connections that nourish both your heart and your purpose. In those connections, you don't just find companionship, you find a shared journey where both of you grow, support, and elevate one another. Continued lack of respect, and now we reach one of the most telling signs of being used, one that often hides in plain sight, a consistent lack of respect. Imagine walking through life with someone who dismisses your thoughts, belittles your needs, and constantly puts their desires above your dignity. It's like trying to navigate a maze without a map. Confusing, exhausting, and deeply isolating. This lack of respect doesn't always show up in big arguments. More often, it appears in the small things. Do they actually listen when you speak, or just wait for their turn to talk? Do they value your input, or brush it aside like it's an inconvenience? Do they make decisions with you, or do they leave you out entirely? It's in the eye rolls, the sarcasm, the quiet disregard that says, you don't matter as much. But here's the truth, you do. Stoicism teaches us to become aware, deeply aware of our own value. And if you're constantly feeling small, overlooked, or pushed aside, it's not just a bad habit. It's a red flag. You are not a pawn in someone else's game. You are not here to walk on eggshells, afraid your thoughts will be twisted or ignored. You're a partner, not a placeholder. And recognizing this truth is only the first step. The next? Action. Speak up, not to fight but to stand, not to argue but to affirm your dignity. If they're constantly late, don't just sigh. Say how it makes you feel undervalued. If your opinions are always dismissed, express how that hurts. Your sense of partnership. You can't control their behavior, but you can control how you respond. A Stoic doesn't stay silent to keep the peace at the cost of their own voice. A Stoic speaks with calm, with conviction, and with self-respect. Your feelings matter. Your opinions matter. You matter. This isn't just about building harmony in your relationship. It's about ensuring your presence is not only seen, but respected. Because being Stoic isn't about being passive. It's about knowing your worth and insisting on being treated accordingly. If this message resonated with you, if you saw parts of yourself in these signs, take a moment to engage. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss the next insight on your journey to self-awareness and emotional strength. Your interaction helps us grow this community, and your story, yes, yours, might be the exact message someone else needs to hear. So share your experience in the comments below, or if you're not sure what to say, just write, "I welcome genuine connections in my life. Thanks for spending this time with us, guided by the wisdom of Stoicism. Stay grounded, stay aware, and above all, keep growing into the best version of yourself."